Hi, Lisa Hamilton. Unstick your stuck life. So today, let's unstick your purpose. So here's what's fascinating. In Jeremiah 1:5, it said, before you were born, before you were even conceived, it said Jeremiah 1:5 that God made a purpose. He wanted something to be released on earth. He wanted his very spirit, a purpose to be released. So he actually creates a purpose first before he makes you. Then in Psalm 139, God said, I formed you as a vessel with a certain temperament and a personality to carry out this God given purpose. He says, and then after the purpose, I formed you in your mother's womb and I made you in secret. I go like, why would God make you in secret? Why? And God goes, because what I put in this vessel is so special. It's so powerful. It is my very presence. And I'm going to release this the day you were born. The purpose inside of you is going to be released on earth. And he said, and I do not want, there's an enemy, and he does not want this purpose to be released on earth because it's so fearfully, it's so forceful. You are a force that's going to come on earth. You're a secret weapon releasing the very presence of God. God makes you like a bold lion. You're courageous and you fight for injustice. Or maybe God makes you like a spirit of laughter and you bring joy everywhere you go. A gentle voice. Sometimes he makes your purpose. It's the ones that listen and hear, and in their listening, they heal. You are the very presence of God. He made you intricate, exquisite, to the smallest detail, like a master architect. And this is the blueprints of your life. He writes your name and your destiny in the book of life. And there you are. It says Genesis 2:7, as he makes this dust and he comes and he brings it. And he says, and then God said, he formed man from the dust from the ground. And then he takes a breath. And it says, and as he breathes his very spirit into this man, the dust becomes a human living being. God literally breathed his very spirit in you. That's why you're a spiritual being. He gives you the ability to accomplish your destiny. So you don't find your purpose. What's my purpose? Like, what am I supposed to be doing? You don't find it. You already are a purpose. But the question is, but if you don't really know what that is and you can't connect with it, and if you haven't identified it yet, then how do you find it? It says that God puts it in your heart. You have a desire in your heart, and it's like a compass. When you walk away from your real purpose, you start to feel like a heaviness, a depression, a blah. It's like nothing. I am not motivated. I'm not excited. I'm doing my life, but I am not excited about it. Something's off. The desire in your heart, it's like a whisper, like a still small voice of God, like a compass. And so this is miraculous. Philippians 2:13. It is God who works in you, giving you the desire and the ability to accomplish your dreams because it gives him great pleasure. He's actually your cheerleader. The desire in your heart, you're going to find it. And I'm going to give you the ability to accomplish it. So God's right behind you, wanting you to find and fulfill your purpose. Don't doubt these desires. Sometimes you feel that your desire in your heart is so small, it's so meaningless, it's seemingly nothing. But let's talk about Julia Childs. She goes to England from America, doing nothing, bored, but eating French food. Her husband said, Julia, is there anything that you like to do? She says, eat. So then from eating, she says, well, I want to learn how to cook. And then from cooking, she says, well, I want to do a cooking class on TV for the Americans at home. Then she says, well, I want to start. And she made the famous TV show with the French cooking cuisine cookbook. So this small little desire that was put there by God, because God loves food. He loves pleasures of the earth. She was the one that brought it to America. Do not detest small beginnings. Look at your heart. There's something in your heart that is your purpose, and you have many, but definitely that's the one you want to follow. So we're going to take this personality test, and it's actually on the link below. Please find it. It's also in book one, but you can just link into this. So undoubtedly, every time I do these seminars, people always want to say, well, I'm going to work on my weaknesses. And I said, well, why would you want to do that? You need your strengths to accomplish your purpose, no more and no less. And I go, okay, what if a chicken, rather than laying eggs, said, I think I want to learn how to fly? Okay, how about a cow? You're here to produce milk. And what if that cow said, I really want to work on my weakness and I'm going to practice holding my breath and I'm going to swim like a fish because I always wanted to be a fish. You're a cow. Okay, a dog. I think I'm going to practice real hard to quack like a duck. So you don't need to do this. You have a strength that's perfectly aligned with your purpose. Your weaknesses have nothing to do with you. So as you take this, I'm not going to tell you what you are. I'm going to re-emphasize this personality profile test. Is going to re-emphasize what you already know who you are. We're going to examine if you're in the right environment to live a proactive life, returning to the core of who you are. So there's four different personality types, and this is as old as dirt. I don't know. And everyone's you've heard choleric. So choleric is a very powerful temperament style. Sanguine, it's the persuader. Phlegmatic, the peacemaker. The melancholic, it's the perfecter. You are one of two of these combinations. You have a dominant, and then you have a subordinate. And you put these together, you are a unique color and a blend of both. And actually, one step further, how do you say it? Samunu Ono. But he developed that literally within your blood, they put this as on a transcriber, and all of your protein and molecules will actually go through this transcriber. And they found within your blood, not only are you a song, not only are you a frequency, you are literally a symphony. Okay, this is amazing to me. Your core essence of who you are, it's literally a vibrational sound. So when you're centered, you can actually feel this frequency when you're doing something you love. If you're a painter and they're right in the middle of painting, it's like, God, you can feel this frequency. It's your aha moment. If you're a writer and you're right in there, if you're an inventor, if you're a race car driver, but whatever you are, your frequency, you literally are a symphony and a song that vibrates. So when you connect to this purpose of who you are, you actually feel it. So let's talk about the four personality types. Powerful. George Patton. George Patton was George Patton won so many battles, and he led these people and armies to win. A strong military leader, would not back down, the strength. He led these people because he felt his leadership. They're visionaries. They have a vision for the future. They're abstract thinkers that turn ideas into reality. They're project-oriented. So rather than people-oriented, they like projects. They're very often misunderstood because they're so purposeful. They're sometimes misunderstood for being unfriendly. You're just a project-oriented person. You're also a developer. They're big picture thinkers. They're great leaders because you will always see the end of the goal and nothing will detour you from reaching it. You're a risk taker. You're an achiever. Get immediate results. Prefer to be their own boss for sure. They have a hard time following others' ideas. So one of my profiles is definitely a power. I'm a leader. Working underneath people, it was very hard for me. I was not in the right environment. I'd always look, I'd see a better way to do it. I'd delegate people around me. Sure enough, call into the office, Lisa, you're fired. Why would I be fired? I did my job. You can't delegate people. I go, but why not? So you can see the conflict when you're in the wrong environment. It's the shoe that doesn't fit. And as we said before, you're going to get blisters. This shoe does not fit your personality type. That's what we're after right now. We're going to describe and you're going to own, I'm in the wrong environment. The environment that this powerful person needs, they need projects, results, they're fast paced. They need to build and accomplish their dreams. They're very high energy, they're action oriented. Persuader, I would say the most indicative of what I could say, Christopher Columbus. He goes to Queen Isabella. He goes, in fact, to many different kings and queens. And it's like the world's flat. Christopher Columbus says, no, it's round. How in the world does he convince Queen Isabella to give him ships, people, money to sail around to what she thought India, based on what? Because he's a persuader. He was with Queen Isabella, and she says, well, why do you think the world's round? Do you have any proof? And he goes, well, I have no empirical data, but God told me the earth is round. So she finances, he sets off to sail. But this is the value of a persuader. They lead people. They have this knack to lead and motivate and inspire people. They're politicians, they're heroes, they're very cause-oriented. Martin Luther King, the whole rebellion against freedom for the Blacks. Braveheart, Scotland, he died for a cause and he would not back down. They're inspirational. They infuse people with hope, faith. They motivate, encourage. They're teachers, mentors, guides. They have other people. An inspirational pattern has people live in spirit. Tony Robbins, Wayne Dyer, they're entertainers. They can walk into a room and they will shift an atmosphere. Whatever's just mundane, the second they walk in, it's just they charge the atmosphere. They're very people-oriented, high energy. If you profiled as a peaceful peacemaker, the best example would be Monica, touched by an angel. You're healers, you're compassionate, empathetic, listeners. You can heal people emotionally and physically by this empathy, the ability to listen and hear and connect. You're helper, supporter, unselfish, assistant, reliable, dependable. You just get the project done. You are tremendous follow through where others can just jot off and forget. You have a project and you follow it through to the end. Perfect example, Betsy Ross, doing the flag, unnoticed, finishing this project until it's done. You're harmonious. You reduce tension. You can diffuse an emotionally charged situation. You're a mediator, nurturer. Peacemakers, it's like you have the forever home feeling. Once you're around you feel like you're home. They're people-oriented, calm, energetic. Perfectionist, perfect example, Martha Stewart. High standards, fine-tuned, attention to details, accuracy, quality. They're creative thinkers, innovators, scientists that think outside the box, analytical, they're technical, project-oriented, and you have a high need to do. You're very high need to do, to perfect, to make things right. You have a low energy. You're not bouncing off the walls. It's a very low energy because you're project-oriented. You need a lot of alone time because this is what makes it necessary because you're a deep thinker. you're creating, you're inventing. So discovering these temperament styles, what we're doing is, though it's a large umbrella to your personality type, we need to get more specific. We need to find, but what is your core essence? It's your turn to get specific. So this week, I want you to write down your passions. Your, even if you're doing it, what you did do, what you're doing, what you want to do, it's this passionate desire within your heart. I want you to spend a week. What turned me on this week? What was I doing this week? When I was alone and I was thinking, I really like that. I really like doing that. Write down your passions, your goals, your dreams, your futures, and your past. This is going to be a roadmap. Pay attention to this common thread, because this roadmap is your destiny and it's your spiritual DNA. At the end of this, I want you to say, why do I like this? And I want you to come up with 3 highly descriptive words that describe the effect that you really have on the world, the purpose that God created, that put in you, that you're now releasing. What is the 3 descriptive words? This is my purpose. This is what I release. This is what I called to do. So you have begun your journey, and this is the beginning of unsticking your stuck life. Unstick your purpose.